10:13 p.m. and we are live on the couch. Let me first of all take the time to encourage you to really get comfortable on the couch this evening, because the conversation is going to be quite the conversation. Coach M and I were discussing, and I figured, this is definitely going to be a series. It's not something that we're going to start today and finish today. Let me first of all start by painting a picture for you. So you know how you go through the kind of separation or breakup from your partner, and then at the point of separation, at the point of breakup, it hits you like a ton of bricks. Like it hits you as if a caterpillar went through you. But how did I end up in a relationship with this person in the first place? Was I blind? Like, did I not see the signs? Was I deaf to everything? Because, I promise you, when you are in this place, it's not as if the thing just really hit you like that too. It was giving you small punch here, small poke here, small punch here, all through the time you're in the relationship with that person. But you never really paid attention to it until it was too late. Because you saw the signs. You saw the signs. But for some reason, you thought, Or you were like, I got this. Or you were like, the man I be. So, for the next few Mondays, Coach M and I have said we're going to take time and break down all these signs. I was just telling him before we came on air that it's funny when you get into researching these kinds of things, you even think you know what you know, only for you to realize that you have no clue. Have you heard of red flags? Yes, Coach Mayzy came prepared. He's wearing red t-shirts so that you understand the topic. We are talking red flags. And to be honest, on my flyer this evening, I remember having I was brainstorming with my friend and my partner and saying, look, we need to talk about this thing. We really need to talk about it. And he was like, why must you call it red flag? Why? Why is it that everything, we're looking at it from a negative perspective? I said, yeah, brother, sorry, no vex. What other flags are there? And then I went into research. So there are red flags, which is the one that a lot of us know. I'm sure a lot of us don't even know that there are other flags. There are green flags, which is naturally the opposite of red flags. Then there's a yellow flag. So picture your traffic lights. All the flags are ably represented there. Yellow or amber, red, then green. Coach M and I are going to talk about the other colors of the flags when you are going into relationships. But for the purpose of this conversation, we are looking at red flags. How to know when to stop. How to know when to move. How to know when to just sit down in one corner and be looking at it with your side eye. Special welcome to you, Coach Mayzy, for joining us on the conversation this evening.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
It's always a pleasure to be here.
Yes, it always is a pleasure to have you here. And to give it even more context, just so that we don't jumble it all up, for the next few Mondays at least, this red flag versus green flag conversation is going to be the men's edition. Gun. I hear some of you say. So we will start with the men's edition and then we'll go on to the women's edition so that we address it from every point, every angle, and then we touch everything as we ought to before we move on. So welcome to the series, and Coach Mayzy is here representing in a red flag for the men.
No, it just didn't.
It didn't occur. I know. I think
I should go change my shirt.
It's late. Sorry. We're already streaming. Yes, people, we're streaming. Go to our Facebook and YouTube to catch Coach Mayzy representing for the men in his red flag.
Oh, wow.
Red t-shirts. Forgive me. Red t-shirt. I mean, I have a touch of red myself. So, we're together. We're together in this. So go to Facebook, Nigeria Info Abuja, and go to YouTube. It's Nigeria Info 95.1 Abuja to join in on the conversation, which is starting now. Coach Mayzy, Let's
Yes.
talk.
Yeah. We're here for this.
This is a broad topic, but I'm sure in your line of work as a counselor, as a coach, and all of that, this is not new to you. So let's
Right.
first of all understand, why are we even talking flags? What are these flags? Why are they important as far as relationships are concerned? Just give us like a general overview before we start to break it down
Okay.
piece by piece.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Always a pleasure being here. So basically the concept of flags and red flags, as the conversation is for today, is just it's symbolic. All right. A flag is basically a piece of cloth you use to um, to depict a message. So flags, they are country flags, they are organization flags, there are warning flags, there are celebration flags, so basically all of these things are markers or symbols that depict a message. All right. So when we speak about red flags within the context of a relationship, what we're saying is that the message that this flag, as it refers to relationships, is passing across is saying that red, which is the color that stands for danger, so in a relationship, what it's saying is that when you see certain patterns in that relationship, know that they are dangerous for both parties in the relationship and for the relationship itself, or dangerous for one of the parties in the relationship. All right. So there are things that can destroy that relationship and really hurt the people involved in it. That is why they are red, because red symbolizes danger. So that's the idea of red flags, basically.
When did we really start to imbibe this concept of flags? Because it just seems like one of those things that sprung out with a certain generation. Oh, red flag. Oh, red flag. Oh, red flag.
Yeah.
And when it starts out like that, and when it's born from like a generational point of view, or it's a thing of this generation, it does tend to get misconstrued a lot of the time. In some cases, the definition completely changes. It's like how certain words have gone from very harmless to you dare not utter the word in public. So is this a generational thing, or are these things that have always existed, but we just put like a name to it? Like we started to better understand the signal now. Why is it a conversation for now?
Yes, very excellent question. So these things have always existed, because we're talking about human behavior most times, and human actions and things that people do to each other in a relationship. And so long as the world has been, there has been human relationships. And there have been people who treat their partners unnicely and unhealthily. Yeah. So long as there's been relationships, there's been the concept. The only thing is that it may not yet have been named for what it was, but it definitely existed in reality and in people's, in practice, right? But now at least there is a name that draws a lot more awareness to the concept of it, right? And I think that is even good, because sometimes naming things helps you to be able to tame them and even understand them better, So it's always been there.
Okay.
I'm sure it's in the past couple of years or decades, perhaps, that it really became a thing as red flags. And the term doesn't only relate to relationships, as a matter of fact. It's a general term. It could relate to anything. All right. Red flags can be red flags about anything, about a person, about their behavior, about anything. But in this case, we're just streamlining to relationship. And that's why I explained, first of all, that you need to understand the meaning of the symbols, the color red, and then the flag.
Okay.
So the flag says it's a symbol of something, and then red says it is dangerous.
Okay.
So apply it to a relationship, and then it becomes red flags in human relationships or romantic relationships. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Makes sense. I mean, perhaps another way to define it, again, I go back to the traffic light. You know what the signs make you do. When the red light is there, you know what it tells you to do. When it's amber or yellow, as some people say, or orange, as some people say,
Yeah.
depending on who you are. You know what it's telling you to do, and then when it's green, you know what it's telling you to do. So we
Exactly.
wanna,
Perfect example.
yes, exactly. So we just want to properly understand the concepts. And again, I thought it was important that we understand this, because trust me, when you, which is why I said, when it comes down to this generation, or rather what we see as the generations come and go, is that emphasis can be so much on a thing to the point that it's misunderstood or is misconstrued. And I dare say that even concerning this topic, because when I was doing my research, Coach Mayzy, there's one link that says 30 red flags in a relationship you should not ignore. There's another one that says 15 that you should not ignore. There's another one that says 29. There's another that says 87. It's like you can go on and on and on, and so many things have now been considered as a red flag. So it's important that we bring context into the conversation, and also, like I said, we want to streamline it and not just speak generally. So the men's edition is on. Now let me explain what I mean when we say the men's edition. Is what are the red flags if you're in a relationship with a man? So this is basically for the women. It says, these are the things that you look out for when you're in a relationship with a man that is a flag. And like I said, we're going to discuss a number of colors. We're even going to discuss the one that is green that tells you to go. So don't worry, calm down. And men, no, you too, be coming down. We're coming to the women's edition, where you get to also know what is a red flag, or a white or a green, as the case may be, in a woman you're in a relationship with. But all of that is going to happen after this time out. Don't go anywhere. I promise you, it's just going to be a few seconds, and then we'll be right back to kick it off proper.